To my beautiful black people, the era of status quo is over. No longer will we play into the hands of the oppressor. If they want to take DEI, let them. Do not fight for their crumbs anymore. Instead, let's be done with these racist corporations like Walmart. It's not enough to stop shopping at these kind of places. We need to go further than we've ever gone before. We need to get these racist corporations like Walmart out of our neighborhoods entirely. We need to get our people better employment opportunities.
Welcome back, family. Today we're going to dive deep into a topic that's been making waves across our community: boycotting. We've seen it countless times. Black leaders, activists, and influencers calling for boycotts of major corporations like Walmart, companies that fail to support the DEI policies, or those who perpetuate negative stereotypes. It's a reaction to justice, a call for accountability. But let me ask you this, right? Is boycotting really the solution we need? See, this is not just a question about the retail giants like Walmart or even corporate policies. This is a bigger conversation about strategy, about leadership, and about how much longer can we keep falling for these emotional responses that don't lead to any real changes. If we're honest, it's about the consequences of reacting without thinking. Put it like this: do you ever remember Black Lives Matter, the movement? Remember how it was supposed to be the revolution that we needed? It rose up a lot of energy, sparked protests, riots, and outrage. But what was the outcome? Where are the lasting results? Where's the peace? Why did so many of those voices disappear once the funding came in and the spotlight dimmed? You know, let's unpack that, because we're seeing the same pattern unfold with these boycotts. And it's time we ask, right? Are we really making a difference, or are we just falling for the same distractions again? Now I understand the emotional draw behind boycotting. I get it. When a company like Walmart or another major player rolls back DEI initiatives, it's an insult to us, right? It feels like a slap in the face. When we're excluded from policies that are supposed to help and uplift our communities, we're hurt, right? And that hurt and that frustration pushes us to take action. Boycotting seems like the easiest response. It feels like we're standing up for ourselves. It feels like we're making statements that says, we won't let you disrespect us. But here's the real issue we never seem to address. What happens next? Look at it this way. Boycotting gives us a quick high, a sense of empowerment, but if we don't have a strategy to go along with it, the impact fades quickly, right? And when the boycott is over, what do we have left? Are we truly making things better, or are we just venting our frustration? Let's pause for a minute and take a step back. Let's think about the Black Lives Matter movement for a second. BLM was birthed out of righteous anger, out of the need to protest against police brutality, and it sparked a massive wave of awareness and activism. But what came out of it? There was riots, there was anger, there was chaos. And yes, there was attention. But at the end of the day, what changed? Sure, there were some shifts in policies, but the movement that once had the streets full of passionate voices, where did it go? Where did those leaders go? How many of them took the spotlight, raised millions of dollars, and disappeared? We saw brands adopt to the black square, right? Put up slogans and donate to the causes. But how much of that translated into real, lasting change on the ground? How many black lives was actually improved by these protests and the money that was raised? It's the same thing with boycotts. We led to a space of outrage. We encouraged to make a statement, but then what happens, right? What happens after? Does the fight for equality continue? Does our community see the results? Or does everything fall apart once the camera stops rolling? The reality is that boycotts without strategy and activism without structure only leaves us stuck in the same cycle. Quick emotional reactions with no long-term solutions. And worse, they often distract us from creating real change. So let's talk about boycotts, especially those that have no real strategy behind them. When we're told to boycott Walmart because of DEI policy changes, we acting out of anger. But are we really thinking about it? Walmart may not be the most supportive company in terms of DEI, but let's think about the millions of black people who depend on Walmart for affordable groceries, essentials, and necessities. We all know that the economy is fucked up right now, right? People are struggling to make ends meet. And for many, Walmart is the only place where they can afford to shop. So what happens next when you take that away from them? Answer me that. Where do they go next? Will black-owned stores be able to step in and offer the same prices, the same convenience, the same access to goods? Or we simply create a bigger gap between the haves and the have-nots? You see, this is what the lack of strategy does. It creates a void, and in that void, desperation breeds frustration. When we create these boycotts without having alternatives or solutions in place, we end up hurting the very people that we're trying to help. And let me be clear, this is where we have to draw the line in the sand. We cannot afford to keep rallying people for boycotts without a real plan for how people are going to survive after we pull the rug from underneath them. Look, I'm from holding corporations accountable, right? I'm all for making sure that our people get a fair shake, especially in spaces like retail and corporate America. But we cannot keep going down the path of reactionary activism, right? It's not enough to just say boycott Walmart. It's not enough, and expect things to magically improve. We need real actionable solutions that go beyond taking our dollars elsewhere. We need to be invested in black businesses, yes, but those businesses need support, financial backing, marketing resource, and infrastructure so that they can compete with the giants. We need food co-ops. We need our own supply chains. We need to build economies that don't rely on big corporations that see us as transactional rather than a community. But these things won't happen if we don't get serious about strategy. Boycotting without solution is a fucking dead end. So what do real change look like, right? Real change looks like building, not just tearing down. Real change means creating systems that can survive on their own. Real change means demanding that the DEI policies are implemented and sustained, not just getting angry and walking away. Real change means looking beyond the anger and building alternatives that empower us, right? Not just for momentary victories. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop the cycle of reactionary activism and start building real, lasting change? Boycotts are easy, but they don't change the world. Real empowerment does. And if we're going to make the kind of impact we need, we have got to start thinking about the long game. The question is, are we willing to stop talking and start doing? So I ask you, why are we boycotting? Are we really making a difference, or are we just reacting emotionally without a plan? Are we willing to let the cycle repeat itself like it did with Black Lives Matter, where we protested, raised money, and then disappeared, leaving nothing behind but disappointment? You see, we need more than just anger. We need a vision, we need action, and above all, we need a plan. So what I'm asking y'all, what is your plan for change?